And a lot of what we do is work across the country with states who have DB101 and help everybody to learn about it and use it. So I'm happy to be here today and do that with you. And I'm going to take one moment to share a little bit about the World Institute on Disability. We have been around. This is our 40th anniversary, as you can see by my screen. We were founded by Judy Heumann, Ed Roberts, and Joan Leon, kind of the parents of the disability rights movement. And hopefully you've all been hearing even more about them lately as the anniversary of the Rehab Act has been celebrated this week, as they were instrumental in making that legislation happen and laying the foundation for all of these wonderful things we're going to talk about today and all of the amazing services and activities everyone on this call is involved in. So we're going to go over a few specific things in DB101 today. I'm going to start with this PowerPoint, and then we're going to go into the site and show you where things are. It's pretty cool and exciting. But Missouri recently redesigned their site, and we're excited to share some of the features with you. One of the things we're going to talk about is how DB101 can be used to debunk myths about losing benefits when working. There's a lot of stuff out there that's not true, and we know it holds people back. And we want to arm people with accurate information to make informed decisions. Now my computer's not wanting my slides to move. There we go. I'm going to show you how we can use the videos contained within DB101 to obtain information about supplemental security income, Social Security disability insurance, the rules, the work incentives, and the impact on employment benefits. We also have some new videos to share with you that'll show you how to navigate the site a little bit and how to use one of the estimators. It's pretty exciting that we have those new resources. So DB101 is just one tool with a lot of information and resources, and we really want to make sure you all are comfortable using it and sharing it. It's user-friendly. It's specific to Missouri, Missouri laws, Missouri regulations, Missouri resources. That's what's reflected. It is accessible so that individuals with disabilities can use it, service providers, family members, advocates. It's available to anybody. And again, we're going to talk a lot about dispelling myths so that people know what work incentives exist and how they can go back to work without losing their health care. So it's easy to use. It's intuitive. I hope y'all get excited. We get really excited about it. So the goal is for you guys to get excited as well. And that is the website. And Stacy put it in the chat earlier, mo.db101.org. Very, very easy. So I'm going to quickly shift us and show you our welcome video, and let me know if the sound doesn't work because I want to make sure you can hear it.
Welcome to Missouri Disability Benefits 101, mo.db101.org. DB101's articles and tools can help you make informed choices about benefits and work. DB101's Work and Benefits section has articles that help you explore how a job can improve your life and see how you can manage the money you earn. DB101 benefits planning estimators let you put in numbers from your own situation and add a work plan. DB101 does the math and shows how much your income would go up in your plan and what health coverage you'd have. DB101's Programs section presents programs like MoHealthNet, Medicare, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI. Articles explain program rules, show how they support work, have example stories, answer frequently asked questions, and include interactive mini tools. DB101's articles for young people with disabilities and their parents explore the specific work and benefits issues that young people face. With a free account, you can mark pages and tools as favorites and save your estimator sessions. Go to My DB101 to see them. Anywhere on DB101, use the help icon at the lower right of the page to see a directory of experts who can help you. Explore everything Missouri DB101 offers and see how it can help you at mo.db101.org.
Okay. I'm glad that everyone was able to see that. You guys are about to get a lot more in depth, but that's our one of our newest videos. We're very excited, and we wanted to be sure that you saw it so you know you can share it with others. This is all about building the network and empowering everybody with the information that we need. So again, DB101 is your one stop. It's there 24/7, 365 days a year. If a mom gets worried and can't sleep in the middle of the night, she can go and get accurate information. I am a mom, so that tends to be my analogy, because sometimes we want our information not during office hours. And that's a big piece of why DB101 is here. All of this information shouldn't be behind a gate. We don't want to be gatekeepers. We want all of this to be available to everyone. It's very easy to navigate. It's written in plain language. It is a safe harbor. There is no identifying information. So when people use the estimator sessions, like we'll show in the demo, people don't have to be afraid. No one's going to call them up and say, I hear you're looking for work. But it demonstrates how benefit and work programs interact. Again, there are a lot of videos. We're excited to share the new ones today. And it shows you local information relevant to Missouri as well as national resources. But mostly, again, it's about the fears. It's about busting the myths. We've all heard the horror stories that kind of build up over time and get their own legacy. But we know the facts show us we want folks to go to work. So Missouri DD Council, thank you very much, recently invested in redesigning the DB101 site. So we're using all sorts of best practices in terms of website building. It's better reflecting of the diversity of the users of DB101. There are increased accessibility enhancements. All of the DB101 sites meet or exceed all accessibility enhancements. That's very important to us. There's no point in having information available and not letting the people who most need it have access to it. So it is much easier to navigate. You'll see when we go through it. It's incredibly intuitive. And it helps you to keep getting back to the pertinent information. It's accessible on all sorts of devices. If you want to access it on your phone, if you want to access it on an iPad, if you want to access it on your desktop, it's not going to be blurry. It's not going to be too small. It's going to be responsive so that you can use it. And again, we've added new videos, our intro video that we just watched, and benefits and work estimator video. So some of the new things specifically is the My DB101 feature, which we're going to show you how you can create an account, save all of your favorite articles, save estimator sessions that you've completed, and make sure you have what you need right at your fingertips. Some of the articles we have, what benefits do I get? I think we all have experienced this. SSI and SSDI are very complicated, and it's very common that people just know their checks come and then don't necessarily distinguish between the two. So we have new content that helps folks to figure that out. if they're working with a client, so that we can have accurate information going in. And that is, those resources are tied really closely to the benefits and work estimator, because that's where you need them. We've also reformatted some of the results for the estimator that make it really easy. I'm going to show you. It's an incredible tool to motivate people to say, this is exactly how we can predict things are going to happen. So it's very helpful. Our estimators, if you're not familiar with them, help answer the question of what's going to happen to my income, my benefits, and my health coverage if I'm receiving Social Security payments. So we enter the actual earnings, or our estimated earnings if we're looking at a job. We enter the actual information from the benefits that the individual is receiving. It's the benefits and work estimator is applicable for folks over 18 and under the age of 64. When we get over the age of 64, retirement makes all the rules a little bit different. So the information in DB101 doesn't apply. So it's important to know that. And Missouri also has a school and work estimator. So when we talk about young people under the age of 18 and on SSI, but planning for their future, the school and work estimator takes into account all of the different rules, because the rules change when we're talking about people under 18 and over 18. We also have, and we'll go through this in a few minutes, an SSI SSDI quick estimator. So sometimes folks are real nervous and don't want to engage in this conversation, and we can do a quick estimator. You're going to see it's really quick. It takes about 5 minutes, 10 at most, to get some really terrific results, so that we can help motivate folks and ease their fears, and then work on doing some of the more in-depth estimator sessions to get the results that they need. So, and we're going to go through all this in the demonstration. The content covers going to work and helping folks make work part of their plan as they're planning for their next steps. Managing your money. You know, we don't just want people to get jobs. We want people to thrive, right? Isn't that what we want for everybody? We all just want to thrive. So we have a really great article about building assets and wealth. We're going to look at that because we don't want people to stay below poverty, for sure. We don't want people to live at or just above poverty. We want people to thrive. We have resources on cash benefits so that people can get some information on what's out there if they need help paying for their basic needs, and health coverage, because it's complicated, right? We all know that a healthcare coverage is not a simple thing to navigate. So we want to give people access to information. Missouri also has wonderful content on benefits for young people, because again, it's a little bit different. Getting a higher education. Some folks want to go to school. What are the options? How can we do that? And there's a great article on sudden onset disability. Sometimes people are suddenly in a situation that they were not expecting and they don't know how to navigate it. And we want to get information and resources to people to do that. 1 in 4 people do have a disability in their lives. 1 in 4 people acquire a disability as we age, as life happens. So we want to have information available. So these are some of the other videos that we've had on the site for a while, where we can learn about benefits and see how work can help people achieve their dreams. There's a video on what is SSI, because it's complicated, right? Even for the professionals, it's complicated. SSI and work. So when you go to work, how that interacts with the SSI payments you're used to receiving, and a video on SSI and youth who work. Also, SSDI. They're very different programs. People don't always realize that. People just kind of think of Social Security as a blanket, that it's all very similar, and they're not. They're very different. And how SSDI is impacted as we plan for work, and what the work incentives are. SSI and SSDI, they want folks to work without losing benefits. Like the actual Social Security Administration has built in a lot of great work incentives and resources so that folks have the ability and the option to go to work and not have to be in fear of suddenly losing all their resources in healthcare. So, and now we're going to share a video on our other new video, which is the Benefits and Work Estimator. This is a great little, it's only 2 minutes video on helping people to understand how to use that. So let me get there. And I accidentally changed screens. And we're going to go to
Missouri Disability Benefits 101, mo.db101.org, has articles and tools that help people with disabilities make informed choices about benefits and work. DB101 benefits planning estimators let you put in your numbers and add a work plan. DB101 does the math and shows how your plan could help you. The Benefits and Work Estimator is for adults 18 to 64 years old. Let's see how it works. This estimator covers programs like Supplemental Security Income, SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, Mo Health Net, and Medicare. It takes 20 to 30 minutes to complete. You don't have to do it all at once. Sign in to a free DB101 account to get your progress saved automatically. Get started and give your session a nickname so that you can come back later to finish it or see your results. After you finish the questions on a page, press continue, which saves your session progress. If you leave, you can get back to your session from the Saved Sessions section of My DB101 and pick up right where you left off. Keep answering the questions on each page. You can see which pages you've done and go back if you need to change anything. Start off by answering questions about your current situation and benefits. Then put in your work plan. When you're done, you get a report that shows how your plan will affect your income and health coverage. You can get details on when things change by looking at the timeline, which shows major events each month. Monthly income expense details show you exactly how DB101 calculated things for the next 5 years. Pick a month and see the math behind the numbers. If you'd like to compare work plans or make a change, go to the Plan Recap. You can share your estimated results with people you trust and can also download a PDF report and share it by email. Explore everything Missouri DB101 offers and see how it can help you at mo.db101.org.
Would you
Okay.
ever buy something that you didn't see?
Oh,
So imagine you're
excuse
looking for
me,
a car.
that was
Yeah,
my
of course, you can go online and see.
computer being weird. Now I'll come back. Okay, so that was a quick video on the Benefits and Work Estimator, and we're going to go into that as well when we do the demo. So that's the end of the slideshow. Our next step will be to go into DB101 and look at the site, but I see we have some questions in the chat. Oh, now I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. It was giving me notifications. Does anyone have any questions so far before we jump into the site? Okay, you're quiet group. That's okay. I can talk and talk, so you'll be fine with being quiet, and I'll just keep going. Okay, so this is the site. I'm not sure how many of you have been on it. I'm gonna hope that a lot of you have been on it. But again, mo.db101.org. Super simple. I would ask when you do go to it, you don't need to go to it now and follow along. That's not necessary. When you do go to it, I would ask you to bookmark it as a favorite, and hopefully you're going to use it quite a bit as time goes on.
Hey, Gina, we do have a question in the chat right now.
Oh, excellent.
Paula asked, she said her daughter's turning 18 soon. So will this site be helpful in guiding them and getting her set up on all the possible benefits?
Absolutely. And you're going to see it, Paula. I'm going to show you. Terrific. Okay, I love it. Anything else at the moment?
Nope, that's all I see.
Okay. So one of the first things, and I think that it was mentioned in the video, is that you have the ability to sign in. You have the ability to create an account. That's incredibly important. I would very much encourage all of you to create an account on DB101. And when you use DB101, sign in on your account. The reason for this is quite simple. It allows our folks in Missouri who fund the project to see who's using it. It's very helpful to know who's using the account. It helps us in terms of planning for what types of activities or information to include in the future. That's the benefit for us. The benefit for you is that you can save all sorts of cool things, and it makes it easier when you go back. So I'll show you that. So to create an account, anyone can do it. You enter your email, you create a password, you confirm your password. Don't ever ask me for your password if you lose it, because I can't help you with that. Make sure you don't lose your password. And then we just want to identify who's using it. So these are the various categories: an individual with a disability, family, various professional staff from different agencies, or other. It's very beneficial to you and to us when folks register and create an account. So I am going to sign in so I have access to my saved stuff.
And hey, Gina, while you're signing in, I'm just going to read aloud this other question.
Okay.
Someone has a daughter who's 4 and they're trying to access resources available, and she's going to the DB101 website and filling in information. It asked for disability confirmation with SSA. So this website's really for 18 to 65, because what we're trying to do is help people see that they can earn minimum wage or higher and still keep their benefits. So really, we're trying to help people see that competitive employment is possible. We do have the articles and resources that will give information on Social Security, but anyway, I'll let you answer that question more, but I want to be sure we're clear on kind of the purpose of the site. And I know you mentioned earlier, but let's just revisit that so we're all on the same page.
Okay, yes, and you're absolutely right. The target audience, if you will, would be maybe middle schoolers with disabilities if we're super planning ahead. Definitely, which I encourage. Planning ahead's great. High school students, high school age students with disabilities, all the way up to retirement. There's going to be a lot of great relevant information and tools in the site. When we're talking about younger folks, there might be some links, but this probably isn't the best source of information for you until your kid gets a little bit older. But really the point, we often joke, and I even have a slide in other presentations, that we call it Disability Benefits 101. In reality, it should be Disability Employment Benefits 101, because our focus is on employment and getting folks to work. Our society has limited options for people with disabilities for far too long, often through theories that people have and expectations, not through facts of what support exists. And DB101 is here to take those barriers away and say, yes, folks can work. Folks don't have to live at poverty, maintaining benefits, because that's really what it comes down to. When we ask people, which I'm sure most of us have heard people say, keep your work hours low so it doesn't impact your benefits. Don't take that promotion because it'll impact your benefits. We're telling people that they should live at poverty level. When people are qualifying for benefits, it's because they're living at poverty level. And why should someone limit themselves to that when they have opportunities to work to get the pride, if that's what they want, to feel the contribution that we all get from when we're out there doing good work in the world. Everyone should have that opportunity. I'm not saying everybody has to. I'm saying everybody should have the opportunity, and we want to open people's eyes to that. So I hope that answered the question. Okay, so we covered registration and logging in. This is our homepage. And again, any questions, anytime you guys raise your hand, throw them in the chat. Stacy will let me know. We want to have a conversation. That's good. I see Stacy.
Oh, we have one more. We do.
Okay.
And this is a great question, Tina. She said, will I be able to save multiple employment clients on my account? So she's a benefits provider, someone who is helping clients. How would she go about that?
Yes, you have the ability to use the estimator sessions multiple times, and you name them different names. We're going to go into the demo and you're going to see that, but absolutely, that is a great question.
Great questions today.
I know, I love it. People are paying attention, not just sleeping. Good job. Any more at the moment? Okay.
You're good.
Here on the homepage, we have panels that are kind of themed, that are kind of the highlights, but we have more details for everything. So see how benefits and work go together, links you to articles on how benefits support work, how accommodations can help you succeed at work, ways to save money while working. This big button gets you directly to the benefits and work section up here. We're going to go to it in a minute. But everything circles back to where you need to be. It really helps to get you where you need to be. This panel has our estimators. We're going to go into benefits and work estimator. We're not going to have time to go into the school and work estimator, but you're going to understand it after we go through the benefits and work estimator. This panel talks about cash and health programs. Again, we talked about the article. We'll look at it. What benefits do I get? SSI, SSDI. This panel talks about young people, benefits for young people getting a higher education. And then down here we have our videos that we watched, the newest two, the welcome video. What is SSI? SSI and work, SSI and youth who work, SSDI, SSDI and planning for work, work incentives, and the estimator. Mini tutorial to kind of help folks know what to do. I will share, we typically have an in the news section under the video panel. We've had some technical challenges, let's put it that way. We hope to have the in the news section return in the next couple of weeks, I've been told. So at the bottom, real quickly, I personally love this, so I like to point it out. There's a glossary at the bottom. How many times are we confused by terms, by rules, when we talk about 1619B? That helps folks return to work. There's all sorts of details. Anywhere in the site, when you see information that's blue and underlined, it's going to link to more information. That's one of the things that's super helpful, is you can go through and you can keep linking to more information. We talk about able. I'm only on A. I'm not going to go through all of it. I just want folks to be aware. This is a huge resource, especially for families out there. Even a mom of a 4-year-old, you probably are going to find some helpful information there. It's a really great tool. And I'm going to talk about our buttons. This says feedback. And I'm going to show you another way. This is if something's technically wrong with the site. Sometimes people try to email us their actual questions about their benefits. We can't help with the benefits. We can't do individual work with folks in that way. But this is for if, suddenly something's not displaying right on the site, so it notifies someone to fix it. When someone is looking for help for their specific situation, there's this big get help button. This button is going to be right here in this corner everywhere I go. I'll point it out a couple of times. When you click on that, it helps you find other resources. You need help relating to SSI and SSDI. Here's how to get to Social Security. If you need help on how work affects SSI and SSDI, you can call the Missouri Protection and Advocacy Services. You can call the Show Me Employment Project, Missouri Voc Rehab, Ticket to Work. These are all the resources for you. You have questions on Missouri Health Net? Here's how you get to them. Medicare, work preparation, and other benefits. So if at any point you realize in your personal situation or your client's situation, you need to connect to someone else, this big help button, and it's bigger. We made it bigger. We wanted to make sure people really had access to it. So I'm going to scroll up and we're going to go to the work and benefits page. Talk a little bit about what's here on the work and benefits. And again, we want to connect you when you need resources. So if you need help, find an expert. There's a whole article that shows you who the entities are in Missouri that help with this information. And it gives you links to get directly to them. We don't want you to just know who they are. We want you to be able to access them. And then we have the articles. This is seriously one of the best articles. I love this article. Getting past the myths. That's one of our biggest barriers. People think that they're going to lose their health care, they're going to have less money, and their quality of life is going to be awful. And that is not the case 99.9% of the time. This is a terrific article to help people understand that going to work is a possibility, and all of these myths aren't true. They're just myths, and we want to dispel them. So most of our articles have the same format. There's the basics. There's an overview of everything. There's 7 myths about work and benefits. And again, you see there's a lot of blue words with underlines. When you don't know what something is, you can go right to the source and get more information. But then we go into detail. We've heard these things all the time. I can't work. Someone told me I can't work. If your client or your family member says that, or if you think it in your own head, check this out and see if you still think it at the end. There are a lot of supports that help you to go to work. If I work, I'm going to lose my SSI and SSDI. I've heard it. I've been in this field a really long time. I've heard it a lot. That this explains some of the resources. It links back to the video from the first page. The site's intuitive that way. It keeps going, circling the information together. I guess it's not going back. SSDI work incentives. If I work, I'll lose my health benefits. Again, and as we go into the estimator sessions, there's so many resources here, right? If I work, I'll lose my disability status. I'm not going to click through every single one. I want you guys to do that on your own. But you see the format. All of the resources are there. I can't get help finding work. We know there's a lot of help finding work. I imagine that's what a lot of you on this call do. I can't afford to work. There are costs associated with work. That's real. That's true. But people can't afford it, and there are work incentives to address it. And if my benefits stop, I'll never get them again, which is also not true. There are so many supports and safety nets built in to the programs to help folks recover their benefits if something goes wrong with work. Well, really, they maintain for a long time. So a lot of the articles start with the basics and the content, and then these next steps, which is really cool, because what's your next step once we've helped people dispel all those myths? Let's find a job. that's why that's what my career's been built around. And I imagine the same for a lot of you, helping folks get jobs, voc rehab, Missouri job centers. Find the center nearest you by clicking here. We're trying to make it so easy for folks. And if folks need benefits, because if they don't have a job now, people need their basic needs met. There are ways to do that. There are links to do that. Ticket to work, benefit planning services. On that note, I want to speak for a moment about the relationship between DB101 and benefits planners. DB101 does not exist to replace benefits planners. We need benefits planners. This information is complex and complicated, but a lot of people can get their questions answered, through DB101, and they don't need the assistance of a certified benefits planner. There are a lot of people who do still need assistance from a certified benefits planner. That's kind of how DB101 wants to help fill the gap. We don't want a certified benefits planner because often there are not enough certified benefits planners in a state to serve everybody. So we want them to have the ability to go into detail with folks who have really complex needs and need that detail and support. But for folks who just have a couple questions, DB101 can answer it. So we're not here to supplant benefits planners. We're here to be a tool to help make their jobs move more efficiently. So this is Getting Past the Myths. Again, fantastic article, great resource to use with someone in your house who doesn't think someone else should go to work, with clients, with whomever needs to get past those myths. We also have articles, job supports and accommodations. We're going to work. What do we need to do to make sure we can be successful? We can learn about work incentives. Work incentives are complicated. So much of this is complicated. So we can help people understand the basics, what some of the SSDI work incentives are, what some of the SSI work incentives are, because SSDI and SSI are not the same program. We're going to go into the mini estimator in a minute. There are healthcare work incentives, affordable housing work incentives. Okay. Great information for people to have. And again, we talked about sudden onset disability. And the articles on managing your money. Again, building your assets and wealth. That's what we all want to do. We all want to be able to save our money. So we talk about why assets matter. ABLE accounts, such an amazing resource for people. Individual development accounts, not as common anymore, but the information's here. A plan to achieve self-support for those employment goals, tax credits and tools, trust funds, which can be really complicated. And again, always the next steps. So our history of encouraging individuals with disabilities to maintain poverty, to maintain benefits, we have to flip that script. We have to let everybody have the same opportunities. And we have these terrific resources to help folks do that. So share the information. There's an entire article on ABLE accounts, individual development accounts. These go into more detail than the information in the Building Your Assets and Wealth article, the past plan, tax credits and tools, trust funds. And again, young people, benefits for young people getting a higher education, and the school and work estimator. Then we have a tab on programs. You can talk about cash benefits. We talked about this. What benefits do I get? It helps you to understand SSDI is for people who used to work and have work history. Medicare comes after 2 years after SSDI starts. And this is the way that really helps a lot of folks figure it out. SSDI payments are usually deposited on a Wednesday, which Wednesday depends on your birthday. That's a pretty easy way to help folks figure out which program they're on, or if they're on both programs. What day does your check come? What day does your direct deposit hit? Social Security is for people, supplemental security. Look, I'm saying the wrong thing. Supplemental security income is for people who have low income and low resources. It is based on what your income is and what your living information is, so that you have the ability to supplement the wages that you need to live. SSI beneficiaries get Mo Health Net, and SSI payments are usually deposited on the first day of the month. So when folks aren't sure, this is a really great way to help figure out which benefits they're getting. Stacy, I see your face.
And we have a few questions in the chat.
I hadn't even looked at that. Thanks, because I told you I'll ramble.
Sure. So Tina said, if someone already works full time and discovers they have a disability, hang on, can they obtain disability benefits? I'm sorry, if someone already works full time and discovers they have a disability, can they obtain benefits?
Everybody has a unique situation, but if they're able to maintain employment, I'm not sure what the reason would be. If the disability doesn't always impact employment, it depends is often the answer, right? So it depends on, is the disability impacting their ability to work, and all of that. But if it is, and then they need the assistance, then yes.
Okay. And Peggy, we appreciate you putting that impact link in the chat there, the Missouri's Parents Act. And, Peggy's just sharing her experience. She said she had to learn by trial and error when her son went on SSI at 4 years old, 20 years ago. So we really appreciate having the insight from someone who's been through it. Linda said her son receives both SSI and SSDI. So when looking up work incentives on DB101, does it address this combination? He worked enough hours before the pandemic and became eligible for SSDI, but he also receives a small portion of SSI funds too.
Yep, concurrent enrollment is addressed.
Great.
And I can kind of show you where when we go into the demo of the estimators.
Okay. And then one more question. Jessie supports a woman who has a head injury, disabled as a teen, now in her 50s. So she receives an SSI survivor's benefit. She can no longer work due to health. So will she lose her SSI if she gets disability? And
So
if can't be answered, is there a portion on the website that would help?
Yes, the website can help. And supplemental security income is intended to say, and I'm just going to use the federal max, even though that's not necessarily what anyone gets. It's individual and depends on their situation. But if they were receiving SSI at the federal maximum of $914 a month, say they were receiving that, and then they started to receive SSDI, and their SSDI maybe was $300 a month, then their SSI is going to decrease by $300 a month, because SSI is saying this is the level of income that based on your situation we've determined you need not to exceed $914 a month. Somebody could receive SSDI in a higher amount, and then they're not going to get SSI if they get $1,100 of SSDI. I hope that made sense, but it's okay if it didn't, because you don't need me to know this. This is all in DB101, and we are going to look at how to get there. It's in the estimators. It's all very, very clear, which is just so wonderful. Okay, I hope that helped. If not, just keep poking at me. There's information on what benefits do I get related to getting your benefits planning query, BPQI. That is something individuals need to obtain on their own to make it free. If the beneficiary or representative pay, if you ask for it for someone, it's not free. So you have to work with them so that they ask for it themselves. My Social Security Online, we all need to just have those accounts. We're all working in the Social Security arena, paying into the system. Medicare, state benefits, including Missouri Health Net. So there's all sorts of information so folks can understand what they get. And again, the BPQI, if someone really doesn't understand the payments that they've been getting, the history of their payments, that's what the BPQI is. In case you don't know, it's a detailed report of the history of the payments that you've received so that you can know what benefits you're getting. Sometimes people aren't aware. It's just been coming and they're not sure what or why. So it's a really good resource for people. I
So
see.
while we're going to the another estimator tool, Mandy said, so why would someone want to go through all the paperwork if SSI is going to equal it all out in the end?
Because they're all different. No, it's not that simple. And I'm sorry if I made it sound that simple. The programs are different. Everybody's individual situation is different. And you need to make sure that you're approaching it from an individualized perspective. So I didn't mean to make it seem like it just ends up at that amount for everybody, because it's not the case.
Okay.
What the payments received for SSDI are based on your work history and what you've contributed in the past. If you haven't contributed much, those payments are much lower. If you've been working for a long time, then it's higher, and it's all based on your ability to work, the substantial gainful activity that you can complete. So it's complicated. That's why DB101 is here, because it's not just that simple. I'm sorry if I made it seem that simple. Okay, let's look really quickly at the quick estimator because time is flying. I clicked on my DB101. These are some of my favorite articles that I have saved. And I've saved some of my favorite tools, but I really want to show you guys the quick estimator so you can see just how quick it is. It's in the SSI and Work article, but I saved the tool so I could get to it. You can get to it either way. Again, DB101 makes it real simple that way. So you can go in, whether you're looking for yourself or on behalf of someone. What is your situation today? Let's just, I looked it up, and what I read was that the average SSI payment in Missouri is $604.44. I could put the change in, but I'm not gonna. So it's going to ask you this information. If you don't know what it's asking you, you can click on this little help button and it's going to tell you. It's going to give you more detailed information. Again, you can click through what is SSI, and it's going to take you back to that information. When individuals have blindness, when individuals are blind, the rules are very different in SSI and SSDI. I'm not going to enter anything here for the purpose of what we're doing today, but be aware of that the rules are very, very different. So I am not going to say that we have a supplemental aid to the blind benefit. I am not going to say that Missouri Department of Social Services determined we were blind. I'm not going to say I'm under 22, because remember, when I'm under 22, things change. There are different work incentives. And the benefits I'm getting are different. So was I working in July 2023? I'm going to say no, I was not. And then this is real fun. So I'm considering going to work. What's the gross monthly income from all my jobs? I don't know. How do I figure that out? I can click on help me calculate this. So I'm going to say, I think your minimum wage is $11.15. Let's say that I got offered a job for $12 an hour. I am not going to earn any tips. I'm going to work 20 hours a week. This is what I'm thinking about. And I want to know how this is impacting my payments. My total expected earnings will be $1,044. It does the math for us. As a social worker, I'm very grateful for that. I don't love math. Maybe some of you do, and you're welcome to do the math on your own, but it'll do it for you. And ask how much you will claim in impairment-related work expenses. Again, if you don't know what that is, you can click on it. You could click here and go into detailed information on impairment-related work expenses. But to move through it quickly, I'm going to say that I'm not. claiming anything in impairment related work expenses. And then it shows me this. This is the new bar graph we were talking about earlier. In this snapshot, you'd have more income. Today, my income is $604 a month on SSI. Look at that. How is that not motivating? It shows me the breakdown. I'm still gonna get SSI for $124.50. Okay. This is a quick snapshot. This is not the detailed picture. It's when someone's thinking about it and they're really not sure. You can do a quick estimator session, a mini session, and show them how this is going to work. I'm going to have $564 more a month. That sounds fantastic. It's going to talk about the health insurance that I could be eligible for. And then what do I do now? I can contact a benefits specialist if I need more detailed information. After you close this window, try the benefits and work estimator. Okay, so I'm not quite going to do that because we only have a few minutes left. I feel like I babbled too much. I'm sorry. I did do a practice estimator session, so I'm going to open that up for you. It takes longer to do the full estimator because you're entering more detailed information on benefits, what you pay in rent, what your living situation is. It needs more detailed information to give accurate information back out. So I did one ahead of time. And here's what we did when I did it. I said the person wasn't working, had $600 in SSDI, $314 of SSI. The average SNAP benefit in Missouri was $249 a month. And I probably did a part-time job at 20 hours a week. And it showed us our income now. Look at all the additional income we're going to have. And you know what? This is where people get scared because, yep, in 6 months, they don't get SSI anymore. And if you say to someone, well, in 6 months, you're not going to get SSI, they're really not going to like that. Like nobody wants to hear that they're losing something, but they're going to have additional money every month. Their income goes up. In 2 years, their income goes up. You will have health coverage, also a concern. Here's what you have today. Here's what your options will be in 6 months. You can click through and get all the detailed information. The bottom line, you have more income. Your free healthcare coverage can continue up to the resource limit. Your SSDI benefit will continue. Your SSI benefit goes to zero. But it's the more money we need to focus on. So it explains all the details. And I want to show, and it was in the video, the timeline. And again, you can click to all these things over here. Oh, I was $13.50 an hour for 20 hours per week because I looked it up and Target pays well. They pay more than that, I think. So if we start working in October, it gives us all this detail and it reminds you that you need to report your changes because it is a responsibility of the individual to report their earnings to Social Security. We can talk about our trial work periods. It's explaining how we're using those. By April, we're going to have refundable tax credits. Why would we have that? Look, it's going to explain it to me. So it gives us this detailed timeline to let us know all of the things that are going to happen moving forward so we can plan if we need to change our health insurance. We have an income and expense detail. And if you want to understand it, it's telling you today, this is how much money we have in our cash available. If we pursue our work plan, we're going to have more cash available. If you want to know why the cash benefit is changing, you can click into it and find out. Look, my supplemental security income went down to zero. Why? Okay, now it's telling me why my SSI went up to zero. My countable income is too high now. And it helps you understand all of that. You can make this into a PDF and send it to someone. It gives you the next steps option again. You can save all of your information. You can share it and email it to somebody else when you're in my DB101. So I'm sorry, because I meant to leave more time for questions and there are only 4 minutes left.
Oh, no,
I'm
well,
so
it's been
sorry.
great because we were answering questions along the way. So Brandy asked, and I have a follow-up for Mandy, but real quick, Brandy said, what if you receive SSI, you go to work full-time, when you need to go back to benefits, can you switch to SSDI?
Depending on if you've worked long and earned the have the work history to justify, because that's what SSDI is based on. And there are a lot of work incentives related to, let's go to it. That's the beauty of this, right? It's all here. Oh, this wasn't giving me the ones I wanted though. See, shows what I know. There are a lot of things related to expedited reinstatement, to getting back onto benefits when you come off. So it depends on how long you've been working, how much income you've earned, what you've built up in that bank. When you can't work, what the substantial gainful activity threshold will be for you. Again, it's all individualized, but the system is designed so that you can get benefits back if you try working and it doesn't work.
So to follow up, Mandy said she knows someone who would get more if they have a history, or excuse me, she said, I know some would get more if they have a history of working. A lot of individuals I work with are disabled and are not able to work, so they would only get them 914 max. That's where my question comes in. What would encourage them to apply for SSDI if it equals if it means they would be out of it?
If they don't have a work history, then there's no reason to get SSDI because it's based on your work history. So if it's been a lifelong disability and there isn't any work history, there wouldn't be a reason. Unless then there are, again, the complicated, if you were at a certain age, it could be based on our parents. So there are a lot of additional complex rules.
Okay. All right, Mandy said thank you. So I think that got her question answered, and I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. Is there anything else? If it's all right with you all, I'm going to launch a quick little 5-question poll that would be super helpful. And just a huge thank you to Gina for being here today. And we're going to be sending out this recording. I apologize. We're having some technical issues in Missouri with our state system. So there might be 2 little pauses in the recording, but we will get that recording out. And please visit the website. We're super grateful for Gina taking the time today, and the fact that you all redesigned the website so that it is accessible to people with disabilities, that it is accessible on phones, because that's the way most people were accessing it. We just really appreciate all of the efforts you've put in, and the articles and the videos and the resources. This is all great stuff for you all to share with others. So please feel free to share it far and wide. And that's great. We really appreciate you taking the time to answer these. Just 5 questions.
I really hope a lot of you are able to use DB101 for yourselves or your family members or your clients, and help folks embrace work.
Right. That's so good, Gina, to bring that up again, because that is our goal here, is to help people see that they don't have to live in a life of poverty. They are able to have competitive, integrative employment. So they're making more than minimum wage, and they're working with people who also are not disabled, and not having that life of poverty. They're able to have higher income as well as have assets saved. So we really appreciate all of your time today, and it looks like just a few other people are going to finish up the poll. So that's all we have. But thank you all so much for your time, and we appreciate all these great questions that everyone was asking. That was wonderful. And I hope that the resources in the chat, I appreciate those sharing their experiences and letting us know some other resources. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. And thank you all for participating. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Oh, wait, we do have a question. Can I ask? Hang on. Oh, did I intentionally make both options on question number 5? Yes. No, I didn't. I didn't make it yes. I didn't do that on purpose. But I hope that everyone's vote was yes. And that's great to know, Jean, that it's helpful not only for your clients, but also for your adult daughter. That's great. I'm so glad that people are saying thank you and it was helpful and they learned things that makes it all worth it. All right. Well, thank you so much. And Gina, I will connect with you here momentarily.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. And we will work on getting this recording out to everyone as well. Just give us a little bit of time.
Excellent.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Mandy.